Johannah Duggar Forsythe shared the depths of her grief and sadness following the untimely death of her 20-week-old daughter Annabelle. The Duggar family's pregnancy was a profoundly personal and emotional occasion that gave the world a unique glimpse behind their frequently joyful and cohesive facade. Even though the Duggars have a long history of being well known as reality TV stars, they still keep some things very private because losing a child is one of the hardest things any family can ever go through. In addition to being a devastating event that changed Johannah's life, the stillbirth of her daughter also left her in a state of sadness that she says persisted for 6 months. Johannah and Austin Forsythe sadly lost their newborn child after their 20-week anatomy check in June 2019. They had already expressed their happiness at having their second kid to the world before the doctors were unable to find a heartbeat. It was heartbreaking to learn that Johannah's pregnant daughter had passed away. No parent ever wants to hear such news. She then had to go through the distress of giving birth to her unborn child, whom she and Austin named Annabelle Elise Forsythe. Johannah has only recently recovered the courage to talk candidly about the ensuing emotional turmoil. For 6 months, she was consumed with numbing despair and felt lost, alone, and hollow. She compares those months as being in a fog, unsure of what to do or where to go. She was raised in a society that encourages controlling one's emotions, especially complex ones like melancholy, in order to maintain one's stoic faith, and the pressure of social expectations made matters worse. Johannah and Austin had to make the difficult choice to share their tale with the world via social media and vlogs. Finding relief and helping anyone who might be experiencing the same challenging road were their objectives. Despite the words of consolation and encouragement from supporters, the couple's suffering was evident. They posted candid and heartbreaking pictures of themselves holding their infant and spending those priceless hours with her in the hospital room. They dressed her in a white robe and placed a little bow on her head, cherishing every moment spent with the young kid they would never see grow up. There were effects of losing Isabel that went far beyond feelings. It significantly affected Johannah's relationships, mental health, and perspective on parenthood. She freely concedes that there is no set recipe for handling grief. She would suddenly be thrown back into the depths of grief by a song, a smell, or the image of another mother embracing her daughter. She would feel well and be able to go on in a moment. What really makes it unique is the tremendous amount of pressure she was under while traveling. As a Dug, you are implicitly expected to publicly defend your family's conservative religious views. Grieving in public is uncommon among Duggars, especially when it results in worry, hopelessness, or the need for outside help. Despite what many people think, Johannah chose to be open and honest about her internal conflict on her YouTube channel. She spoke of the confusion, aloofness, and embarrassment that sometimes accompanied her grief. She admitted that she clung to God during her worst moments, but she also stated that she questioned why this was happening to her. Johannah and Austin had to grow up in unexpected ways as a result of Annabelle's death. They faced additional challenges in their marriage, which was already under close scrutiny due to their notoriety. However, their shared grief brought them closer together rather than causing them to grow apart. Leaning on one another while they grieved and supported one another, they were there for each other no matter what. Austin was also deeply affected by the loss, even though he suppressed his emotions for a while. Johannah has talked about how his calm strength and presence helped her get through her darkest moments. After a while, the pair began to see some improvement. When their rainbow baby, Evelyn May, was born, Johannah said it was a very happy and touching moment. The happiness of having a new baby gave us hope and the capacity to smile again, even though it couldn't make up for the pain of losing Annabelle. However, Johannah was honest about the fact that pregnancy after a loss is a terrible possibility. She was constantly absorbed by the pain of her past, and she had to struggle for the belief that everything would be okay. Johannah is still in mourning years after Annabelle's stillbirth. Indeed, she admits that the pain never goes away. The only thing that changes is form. Sometimes the pain is fresh and severe, and other times it's less severe. Annelle's birthday, her anniversary, and many other life events serve as a reminder of how terrible life is, even if she will never enjoy them. Johannah asserts, however, that she no longer represses her emotions, but rather allows them to flow freely. She has come to understand that grief does not make one weak, but rather human. Johannah's candor has served as an encouragement to those who have experienced similar things. By talking about the unvarnished, terrible reality of stillbirth and newborn loss, she has created a space for healing and conversation. Her message is that it's okay to feel awful and that healing takes time, perhaps a lifetime, which is an alternative to a society that expects people to bounce back from loss quickly. Reassuring bereaved mothers that they are not alone in their sorrow is a cause she has discreetly taken up. Johannah has freely talked about how her faith has given her strength throughout this trying period in both her interviews and personal updates. Even though she doesn't understand God's plan, she finds comfort in the knowledge that Annabelle is in heaven. She does not, however, sugarcoat the journey. She had nights when she couldn't sleep, days when she couldn't find the strength to get out of bed, and weeks of intense despair. She emphasizes that healing is not about denying or ignoring one's pain. The main theme is how she finds ways to remember her daughter while adjusting to life without her. In Annabelle's memory, her family has taken actions such through small token acts of remembrance. When Johannah talks to her younger kids and her eldest son, Gideon, she usually talks about their sibling in heaven. They burn candles, pray for her, and visit her grave as a sign of respect. These moments spent in remembrance of their sister and daughter bring them comfort. Johannah wants everyone to know how much she valued Annabelle's presence, despite its briefness. The family will always feel the anguish of losing a kid. Johannah, however, is growing accustomed to it. She is adjusting to parenthood with a mixture of love and pain, knowing that her heart will never be whole again. Her narrative is about faith, vulnerability, and strength. This illustrates the power of love and the triumph over hardship. Johannah has stayed grounded and honest throughout it all, using her position to spread understanding and hope. She has managed to turn a horrific tragedy into an opportunity to motivate others. Her openness about faith, motherhood, and bereavement speaks to a great number of individuals who have experienced these things but have struggled to find the perfect words. Johannah Duggar, a cherished member of the well-known Duggar family, has been critically ill in the hospital in a startling turn of events. Her family, friends, and admirers were devastated by the news and were left in shock by the sudden and unanticipated health crisis. Jim Bob Duggar, Johannah's father, has been having a mental breakdown and is unable to conceal the deep sadness and fear he is experiencing while his daughter fights for her life. Johannah, who is well known for her upbeat personality and religious perspective, has been having a happy time lately with her husband, Austin Forsythe, and their kids. The pair has shared their life experiences and family milestones on social media, being open and honest with their admirers. However, Johannah's unplanned illness has completely upended their life and had a significant effect on the Duggar family. The startling crisis: what befell Johannah? Because Johannah's family has requested seclusion at this extremely trying time, details regarding her condition are still unknown. But according to accounts, Johannah started having abrupt, acute symptoms, which prompted a hospitalization. Her condition is critical, according to her family, and she is presently in intensive care as doctors try to stabilize her. This is not the first time the Duggar family has been transparent with their fans about the highs and lows of life. Jim Bob Duggar revealed his upsetting experience and his helplessness as a father in a heartfelt Instagram post. Jim Bob wrote, "I never thought one of my children could experience something like this. Watching my darling daughter struggle for her life breaks my heart. The intensity of my pain at the moment is beyond words. We are clinging to our faith and requesting your intercession." Fans immediately poured love, prayers, and encouragement into the comments section of the article, demonstrating their immense support for it. Unable to grasp the enormity of the situation, many expressed their shock and sadness. "All of you are in our prayers." One fan wrote, "Please know that you're not alone in this," while other fans shared similar compassion and care for Johannah's healing. The emotional disintegration of Jim Bob Duggar. Jim Bob Duggar, who is typically cool and collected, has clearly been upset by the situation. In contrast to the man we've seen on television in the past, he expressed his profound sense of powerlessness and terror in his emotional statement. Jim Bob said, This is the most difficult thing I've ever had to deal with as a father. It has broken me to see my daughter struggle for her life. I'm not sure how to handle this, but I know that I have to be strong for my family." In addition to being worried about Joanna's health, fans were also worried about Jim Bob, who seemed to be having a hard time handling the situation. On social media, his emotional breakdown was widely reported, and many admirers showed their support and sympathy for him at this trying time. Since the Duggar family has always put up a united front, fans' bond with them has only grown stronger as a result of this vulnerable moment. One follower wrote, "Jim Bob, you and your family are in our prayers. Your love for your children is evident, and we send you peace and strength."